Hello and welcome to Sylvan Mist Designs. I'm back today with some bookmarks. It's been a little bit since I've actually done any of these, so I decided to pull these out. Seemed like a nice little project that I can just kind of work on and not get too crazy involved. Here on the side I've got the colors that I'm going to be using, and obviously I don't know if you can really tell or not, but this is my coffee colors. So these are all the deco art. So I've got the dark chocolate. This one's the honey brown. Buttermilk. And then I've got cotton candy. And you're thinking, what in the world is with cotton candy? I'll show you. So my bookmarks today, these are actually some of the bookmarks that I had designed partially with some stickers. The rest I'm going to paint. This is the first one, Books and Coffee. Okay, so hopefully this is starting to make a little more sense now. I've got this pink here, which isn't exactly a match, but pretty darn close to some of the cotton candy. This is a little bit more purple, but I thought that would definitely work. I do have this one here, which is just the moon and stars. And then the third one I've chosen is this one. This is actually probably one of my favorites. Reading is dreaming with your eyes open. And obviously the book pages are this nice, beautiful brown. That's going to match really well. And then I think this will go right in with some of the flowers. Okay, so now these actually are clear acrylic bookmarks, but just for the purpose of getting them painted and then actually for showing them afterwards, I like leaving the back on. Okay, so this would have had 2 sheets of the coating. I took the front off and I'll be painting that, and then I left the back on. So when somebody uses these or purchases them from me, you'll be able to take that off and then they'll be clear. Now I have, let's start with this one probably. Okay, so I just drew out a little grid here, and I'm going to take and sit this here in the center. See if I can kind of get that lined up relatively close to the center. I think that's pretty good. And then I've just got a little bit of tape. 1 and 2. Okay, just to make sure that that's not going to go anywhere. Okay. Today I've got my Happy Dotting Company tools. Per the usual, I'm just going to go up to a size 5. So I've got the 0.5 to the 5. My palette out, and I'm going to grab my trusty glass medium, again, per the usual. I'm going to go ahead and get some dots in my palette. Okay, I've got my paints mixed, and as I was looking at this, I do have a pattern in mind, but I don't think that a 5 that I have over here is actually going to be large enough, so I did go ahead and grab my 6, and I'm going to start with the 6 there. With the 6, I'm going to go ahead and start with the darkest brown and get a couple of dots in. And I may not lay out all of the ones that I want in the background yet. I just kind of want to see how this is going to look. I'm going to start out pretty simplistic and do some locked dots. I'm going to start with a 2. And we'll go down a half a size to the 1.5. We'll go up to the 3, and then the walk will be a 2.5 on the next row. And then again, we're going to go up one more, 4 and a 3.5. Now we're going to do some swooshes on these. I'm going to start with the 4, and then we're going to go into this light beige for these large ones. I'm going to go down to a 3. And then finally a 2 on this side. Now on this side, I'm going to go back to the 4. And we're going to do a little row of dots versus the swooshes on this side. You know, I changed my mind. We're going to do a 3. Now there is a small gap right here on both sides, and I thought it might just be kind of cute to do a little heart there. I'm going to take this beige and I'll show you how to do a super quick little dot heart. So I'm going to take and put 2 dots. Again, this is a 2, just side by side. They can be touching. And then just as if we're going to do a swoosh, I'm going to take and pull the side here down. And then this one down. And there we go. I'm going to do the same thing here. There we go. Now I have a little heart there. Now this is going to need to sit and dry. The next thing that I'm going to do though is come back in once this is dry with this beige color, and I'm going to add in a top dot here and then add in another dot here. I'm going to wait until this is dry to do that though, just to make sure that it's going to come out the way I want it to. And then I'm going to be adding just some small dots over on this side, and then I'm going to take a look and see once I'm done if I want to add anything to the tops here to kind of bring that together. Okay, so let's get this one off of the paper and get that set aside. Let's bring in this one again. This one's the Books and Coffee. We're going to get it relatively centered. I'm going to take those same 2 pieces of tape. With this one, I'm going to go ahead and start with the pink, and then I'm going to see about making some dots around here so that we have a cute little ringed border. And I'm going to try to do that in 2. Okay, so now I'm going to come with the 5. And this time, I'm going to get a dot on each of these outward spokes here. We're going to go back into the 2 again. I'm going to stay with the pink though this time. Okay, now I'm going to grab this tool, which is actually one of the nail art tools, and the particular size here is a 2.1, kind of an odd size, I know, but I'm going to use that to do swooshes around these. Now let's move on from there. I'm going to go into a 3. I'm going to add in 2 dots up here so that we can get a crown in. on these edges, again, it's just going to be the one, since I'm letting the rest of the pattern fall off the edge there. And then the 2.5 is going to make the top here. I'm going to go back to the same 2, and I'm going to try to get another set of swooshes right alongside of this one here. Is come back in here with, let's say, a 2. Just get a tiny little accent on these. And again, now I'm going to take this off and I'm going to let this one dry so that we can come back and put in some tops. And then here is the last one. Try to get this in the center, give or take. Let's get the tape down, make sure that this doesn't go anywhere. There. For this one, I really want to stick to the browns to accentuate this more. I know that that's really not the case with the other 2. Let's go to the light colors and then out to the dark. I think that's actually going to look really nice. I'm sticking with the 4. Oh no, this one's, I don't know what it did there. Decided that it did not want to stay in place. Let me get these other ones on there and then we'll go back and fix that. Every now and again, I suppose there could be a fingerprint or some oil or who knows what. They got stuck on these. They've been handled quite a bit, and I have yet had a problem with anything bleeding, so I hadn't actually gone back over and wiped these down, so that's totally on me. Now let's get some of these filled in. I'm going to use the dark, and then this is the 0.5. It really wants to bleed that one. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then once it's completely dry, I'll go back in with the beige and cover that up again instead of taking it completely off a second time. Okay. Now I'm going to do something opposite, and I'm going to go down to a 3, and I'm going to stay in this dark, and we're going to go around the outside of this. At this point, I'm going to come back in with that same 0.5 tip, and I decided that I want some more of this dark brown here on the inside. Now we're going to let this one dry. Let's get this one off. Now I'm going to come back to this one here. What I want to do is I'm going to take the 3. Let's go into this beige. And I'm going to get a dot here, right on the bottom. And another one here on the bottom. Okay. And then a matching one just underneath. And then I do need something up here along the top. So I'm going to take the honey or the caramel color. I'm going to stay within that same size, and we're going to get a crown on here. Now I don't want to leave it so plain, So I'm going to go into my 1.5 and I've got this champagne gold. I'm going to put some more of this as well on the dark. We'll scoot that one over. I'm going to come in to this one. I need some gold here, so I'm going to go ahead with the 3. $1.5. Let's get a touch right on the top. Now, I've brought this one down again, but this one still needs to dry. So I'm going to leave that one be for a little bit longer. Our hearts on this one have probably dried well enough. So I'm just taking my tool and just drawing a heart on the inside of this. Trying to get as close to the edge as I can. Since I have this empty space here, I'm going to go ahead and make another heart in the dark brown. Since we've kind of done this dot theme around here, let's go ahead and add some of this gold around the edge while the rest is drying. Let's try to fix this. There we go. Once that dries, it will not be noticeable at all. Now we need to get some pink into this one. I'm using a 2 and I'm going to highlight the top here. And then finally, to bring that back in, let's use some of the dark brown, also a 2, here on these honey color. Now all of my dots will be towards the bottom of the one above it. I do really like doing that more than centering them. I just like the way that it draws your eye towards the middle. Just a few small touches here and there, and we'll finish this up. All right. Now all 3 of them are done. I added a light pink tassel to each of these. However, I do have, for example, a gold that I considered. I just don't think that this gold, being as rich as it is, matched any of these well enough. So I did go with the light pink for all of them. So which one do you like best? I mean, this one is by far my favorite, and I might just end up keeping this one. It really gives me off princess vibes, and it's really cute to boot. Like I said, this one might not be available. And as always, if you guys have made it this far, thank you so much. I certainly do appreciate you hanging out with me. If you're not subscribed, please take a moment to do so now, and drop a like if you do enjoy the content. Be on the lookout for more. Take care, guys. Have a fantastic day, and enjoy your books and coffee.